everyone, so welcome to my vlog. This is Norway and this first part is basically a little tour of the cruise ship itself. I do have more footage, well I did have more footage of more of the ship, however unfortunately my card got corrupted, so I've lost a lot of footage, so unfortunately yeah. So I'm now going to show you through my room, so, and also obviously, you know, just show you what the room had in it, and you'll get to see it, so enjoy! Okay, so I've got a little area here for hanging stuff, and then there's some drawers behind here, obviously a life jacket, very important. Drawers here for putting your bits and bobs in, and then in here we have a little toilet, basin and a shower. Can't really see very well, but yeah, there's a shower. So that's that. And then my first ever cruise. Can you believe it? Can you, Adam, believe it? Can you believe it? I can't believe it. So anyway, then we're going to go this way, and then in here, what have we got here? So we've got a little fridge. Oh, a little fridge, very nice. Little fridge, very nice. And some bars, some towels. And what's in here? Oh, it's locked. Oh, I don't know what's in here. It's locked. Okay, anyway, that's probably cleaning, I don't know. But yeah, there you go. There's my little room. I like the fact that I've got a view. So obviously I can see out. The windows are a bit dirty, but you know, we'll allow that. But yeah, so this is a view of London Tilbury. So there you go. And then on the bed itself we have a whole load of like various, I presume these are brochures for future cruises, and then there's a little envelope which I shall open in a minute, something else for me, and a whole load of information about the schedule. Turn right and walk down the corridor. You literally go through these doors at the back here. Now this wooden door I had a bit of trouble opening because I didn't realise how stiff it was, and then this takes you out onto one of the decks, and there's hot tubs there to the left, and then loads of little seated areas. A lot of the seats were bound up because I think they knew there was a storm coming, which we didn't know at this point. Well, I didn't know at this point. You can see a few clouds there, but yeah, this is just me having a look around the ship and just having a look around the back, looking at the back. We'd already sort of pulled away from the main dock at this point. So then here we are leaving London Tilbury. Just took a bit of footage of London Tilbury. So this is on the very top decks. This is deck 14, and they had what they called like a jogging track, walking jogging track, which ran all the way around the ship pretty much. And so you could walk around, up here and get lovely views. And then over these railings here in the middle, so going down the deck below, is a swimming pool. I think there was two pools, but one of them was out of action. The other one was in action. There was a bar there as well. We didn't really get to use that. Well, I didn't get to use it at all because just the weather wasn't great, and also I'm not a swimming pool person. This was my first ever cruise. I had never been on a cruise before. I don't know what I felt about going on a cruise. I was excited to go on a cruise. So here we are leaving London and sailing away. Goodbye London. Yeah, so I was just excited to go on a cruise, but I didn't know quite what to expect. And overall, I would say I enjoyed myself. I think the storm was unfortunate with it being my first cruise. My parents, who go cruising a lot, have said that it was one of the worst storms they've ever had while being on a cruise. So that says a lot. There was 89 mile per hour winds. You'll see some of those a bit later on. It was an interesting time, but it was nice being out at sea. I couldn't believe how much there was to do on the actual ship itself. There was literally wall-to-wall activities, like you couldn't be bored. It was go, 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 go. and there was literally things planned every single hour pretty much, into the night even. There was lounges where they had like quizzes and stuff, there was stuff for the kids. This was a multi-generational cruise. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour around the ship. I did film more than this, but as I said, I lost a lot of the footage. So this is coming in from the swimming pool into Borough Market. Now I ate quite a few of my meals in Borough Market. There was an ice cream stall there on the left, but that was never open. You come into Borough Market, and I really liked it. It was quite open. They had these like little dividers with like nice little plants on. You had a variety of different kinds of seating, which was nice. There's some cool artwork on the walls. And it kind of worked in a kind of a horseshoe shape. So Borough Market is kind of in a horseshoe shape, so you can go all the way around and then kind of cut through and come back to where you started. I really appreciated the way they decorated this place. Loved all the little succulents, as you can see on the shelves. And then you come up here and they've got a whole variety of different counters. So this Borough Market, you know, obviously operated for breakfast, for lunchtime, for dinner, all afternoon tea, the whole lot. So you had quite a lot of this like bench seating kind of thing, like where you got big long, high stools and whatever. And then this place, Points East, had the most amazing food. So I'm going to show you now a couple of my dishes that I had while eating at Borough Market. This was the Szechuan beef with rice, and this was a soup, kokoliki soup. I don't normally eat Szechuan beef, but their beef was amazing. It was so tender. This is Saffron Restaurant, and you had to pay extra to eat in here. It was mainly Indian cuisine, but they did have one night where it was Chinese. Then they had this salt and vinegar place, mainly served fish dishes. Then one next to it, which I didn't show, mainly served roast dinners and stuff like that. Then round the corner here they had an Italian place, and then just off the side there was Kids Corner. Then the Ploughman's place had a variety of different things, and then this one here that you're seeing now was kind of desserts, usually fruit and stuff like that. This is the Purple Turtle Bar, and this was kind of like a real traditional kind of pub, but a bit upmarket. This is where they had the indoor archery and the indoor curling and some other like kids and family activities. And it was just got quite a cosy feel, quite nice, a bit pubbish, but not too bad. It was just a nice place. And then you walk through the corridors, and then there was a little room off to the right here. And inside they had loads of information about just like wildlife and things like that. There was some football shirts on the wall as well that had been signed by various football players, I presume. They had the ambassador logo, and then various skeleton, sort of skulls and whatever. But again, it's all kind of biology and sea life and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted a bit of information about, how they were, I'm not sure if it was how they were trying to protect the environment, I think it was, but it was about different wildlife and stuff like that, then this was the room to come in. And then if you just, on that same deck, if you came out and crossed over to the other side, on the other side of here, there was a little library, which was cool, and really liked this. I did come in here a couple of times. Loads of different books. They had like recipe books and gardening books and stuff to do with crafts and DIY, all sorts in there. Right, so this is now on deck, I think this was deck 7, and this was in what they called Centre Court. I did film some down on the bottom floor on deck 5 of Centre Court, where the reception desk was, but unfortunately that's got corrupted. So you've only got this bit of footage of me looking down on Centre Court, but it was beautiful, all green and white, sort of stripes and stuff, and obviously the grey and the black, but it was kind of centred obviously around Wimbledon. There was purple in there as well, which is the company's colours as well. But all the shopping was in this area, the Centre Court, so all around this outside atrium area. You had places to sit like that with like high stools. There was like a little bar area on this level, SW19 it was called, and then you've got all the shops some of the shops there. And then on the next deck down, again, there were more shops, an area for photos and things like that. And then on the next deck down again, which is deck 5, so the bottom, you had like the reception and a little cafe and a few other little bits and bobs, places you could book experiences, stuff like that. So all in all, it was a lovely, I did like this whole area. So this bit here is in the games room. This is Aces and Eights. And there was this Lego sculpture in the corner, and I just so cool. I love this. It was enormous, really big, and you can see how big it is. And that sailor's face sums up how I felt on the night of the storm. Exactly how I felt. But yeah, they had all these tables in here, like felt covered, and they did actually have on the schedule, you know, board gamers meet, unhosted. You could just come in and meet. I mean, you could do it any time, to be honest. This is one of the many lounges they had. They had a botanical lounge. It was only for over 18s. I didn't go in. I am over 18, but I felt like I shouldn't. I don't drink, so I didn't go in. But I did walk past a few times. As you can see, there's a guy playing a violin. And they did have classical music and little drama things going on in there. So that was rather nice. Next to that was the Raffles bar, which is this one kind of all purple. And again, this was very sumptuous looking. Again, didn't go in there. Oh, I've nipped in there once just to speak to somebody, but yeah, apart from that, didn't go in. That bit there, you could go out onto the deck, and then they had these big screens everywhere you could go and you could, you know, click on, because the app that you got given was rubbish. And then this is the Palladium. So this was the beginning of the first night of the show, and that was kind of a picture I took right at the beginning of the show. So it's Monday and we've got the storm, and this is how much it's rolling. So if you look at the sea level and then just see how much the ship is rolling from side to side, which, to be honest, I'm not that bothered about. It doesn't really bother me. I don't mind the rolling sensation. It's kind of what makes me want to go to sleep, if anything. So there we go, look at that roll. That was a good roll. Woo! Lots of rolling. You can see it's quite choppy out there. Here we go again, rolling to the right. Look at that, you can see, oh my goodness, the sea's pretty much gone out the view there, look. And then we're going to go back down again. So yeah, a bit choppy, a bit interesting. First ever cruise. And we are rock and rolling on the seas. So if I come in a bit, you can see how choppy it is out here. Just excuse the window. But yeah, it's quite choppy. Quite choppy. But I don't mind, it's fine. And the captain is trying to make sure that we go inland. So we're gonna, all our ports are changing round. So we're gonna end up going to different ports, and yeah, the schedule's completely changed round. So that's fine. I don't mind, just going to see Norway. I'm happy about seeing Norway, so it's fine. But yeah, a bit choppy out, so if you get seasickness, this is definitely not the boat to be on, that's for sure. And I really don't mind. I had a good night's sleep last night because of the rock and rolling. Got rocked to sleep. It was very nice. So yeah, so that's day 1 at sea. I mean, I don't know if you count Sundays at sea. I suppose that was technically, it says day 2. Day 2, Monday, and we are at sea, and we should be in Bergen tomorrow, hopefully. Those waves. Excuse the rainwater. Can you hear the wind? I don't know if you can hear the wind. But oh my days, it's a stormy out there. We're literally, the ship is literally doing that and occasionally that. Earlier on we were downstairs, and say this was the window, it was doing this. And then it was going all the way back down to like about here. At one point the waves actually crashed up to the window, then that was on deck 5, so we were lower down. I'm on deck 11, so I'm really high up, because the highest deck is 14. But yeah, it's a stormy out there. It's real stormy.